It started with a birthday and an empty chair. Prince Harry wasn't even present for his son Archie's 6th birthday. That absence, small on the surface, has ignited a firestorm. Whispers of trouble in paradise are now shouts across headlines, and no amount of lemon-picking Instagram posts can cover up the unraveling that's happening behind Montecito's iron gates. Before we dive into the shocking allegations that could cost Harry and Meghan more than just their reputation, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This scandal is moving fast, and the fallout is far from over. You don't want to miss a second of it now. What began as quiet whispers among neighbors has exploded into a public crisis, one sanctioned not by gossip rags, but by local government. Santa Barbara County Supervisor Doss Williams, a name many outside California may not know, just dropped a bombshell that no PR team can spin. Harry and Meghan's $14 million Montecito mansion has been officially flagged for a land use compliance review, and Williams wasn't vague. His statement, sharp and public, ended with a chilling line, "I won't warn you again." Let's pause on that, because when a county official goes on the record with that kind of threat, it's not drama, it's a direct move toward legal enforcement. The Sussexes aren't dealing with tabloids or palace staff anymore. This time, the threat is real, formal, and signed by someone who doesn't care about titles or Netflix deals. So what exactly triggered this official crackdown? Allegedly, the couple has been using their Montecito estate in ways that clearly violate county zoning laws. Local records, backed by witness complaints, suggest the mansion has hosted unpermitted events, think celebrity parties, promotional shoots, commercial filming, and curated interviews, all potentially staged without the necessary permissions. In short, the Duke and Duchess may have turned their private estate into a media production studio, without telling anyone, and yes, this includes possible Netflix content, lifestyle brand photography for Meghan's American Riviera orchard, and even interior scenes used in promotional materials. Did they secure the right filming permits? Did they notify local authorities? It seems the answer, at best, is unclear, and that's why the county is stepping in. But there's more. Residents have also raised concerns about landscaping changes that allegedly bypassed environmental protocols, water overuse during California's severe droughts, and security details creating constant disruption in what was once a serene, secluded community. One longtime Montecito homeowner put it bluntly, "They came here for privacy but made this neighborhood feel like a red carpet." That quote has now gone viral, and it's easy to see why. It strikes at the heart of the hypocrisy many are now accusing the Sussexes of. Let's not forget Harry and Meghan's entire post-royal brand was built on the promise of privacy and sustainability. They gave interviews condemning the intrusions of British tabloids. They flew on private jets while simultaneously telling the world to reduce carbon emissions. They promised a quiet life but invited global media into their home. And now, the same community they claim to cherish is turning on them. The county's investigation isn't just a mild slap on the wrist. If these violations are confirmed, the penalties could include thousands in fines, forced shutdowns of ongoing activities, and even limitations on future renovations or commercial use. Legal experts have even floated the rare but not impossible outcome of property restrictors are in extreme scenarios, eviction proceedings. That may sound sensational, but under California's zoning law, it's entirely plausible. And for a couple who once called Windsor Castle home, finding themselves tangled in red tape over property misuse is a staggering fall from grace. It's no longer about whether Harry and Meghan broke the rules. The real question is whether they ever intended to follow them. Their silence in response to these allegations is louder than any denial. Normally quick to respond with carefully crafted statements, the Sussex camp has offered nothing on this growing scandal, not even a vague acknowledgement. And that silence is being read for what it likely is, a sign of panic behind the scenes. Sources close to county staff claim that Harry and Meghan have privately reached out to try to resolve the matter discreetly, hope to avoid further media exposure, but it's too late. The public already knows. And more importantly, the county has drawn its line in the sand. And that's not even the most damning part. According to insiders, Doss Williams had already issued prior warnings to the Sussexes. This is not a surprise ambush. It's a culmination of ignored requests, escalating frustrations, and repeated community complaints that were finally impossible to ignore. And the residents, they're fed up. They're tired of the drone flyovers, the security noise, the camera crews, the celebrity guests, and the circus that follows the Sussex brand wherever it goes. One resident even quipped, "This was supposed to be a quiet place to retire, not the set of a reality show." Even the eco-luxury image Meghan has painstakingly tried to curate with her lifestyle brand is under threat. The county is reportedly reviewing water usage logs, checking for unauthorized landscaping, and examining the sustainability claims the couple has made in public. If those claims don't hold up under scrutiny, we're not just talking about zoning violations, talking about fraud by misrepresentation. That's a serious blow to a brand that has already lost major partnerships like Stuffy, and one that's struggling to stay afloat with lukewarm Netflix output and a lifestyle line mocked more than admired. What we're witnessing isn't just a local dispute over permits. It's a collapse of the Sussexes' carefully managed public image. And for the first time, they can't blame the palace, the press, or the British public. This time, they're facing judgment from the very community they chose as their sanctuary. And what happens next may shock everyone. Behind closed doors, panic mode has been activated. According to insiders familiar with Montecito County staff, Harry and Meghan have quietly begun making moves, reaching out behind the scenes, sending legal representatives, and trying to negotiate terms without escalating things further. But here's the problem. The public already knows. The headlines are written, the hashtags are trending, and their silence is starting to feel like an admission of guilt. Normally, when accusations fly, the Sussexes are swift to respond. A polished statement here, a well-placed insider, quote, there, maybe even a pointed podcast episode or an exclusive Oprah sit-down. But this time, nothing. No denials, no justifications. Just silence. And in the court of public opinion, silence is often the loudest confession. What's especially damaging is the timing. Meghan's American Riviera orchard brand is still in its infancy, an unproven venture that relies entirely on her image of authenticity, taste, and ethical luxury. If this legal mess reveals she's been running commercial shoots from a property not zoned for that use, while simultaneously preaching eco-consciousness, it's more than a branding misstep, it's brand suicide. And it's not just about her. Harry's public standing has also taken a hit. Once the charismatic royal rebel with global sympathy after the loss of his mother, he's now being mocked in tabloids and online forums for erratic behavior, bizarre public appearances, and increasingly fragile credibility. A viral doorbell camera image of Harry knocking on random doors in West London, released the same week he was in court demanding UK taxpayer-funded security only, added to the sense that things aren't just strained, they're spiraling. And now, the legal storm brewing in Montecito threatens to unravel what little is left of the Sussex media empire. Local government isn't like the British monarchy or Hollywood studio execs. They don't respond to glitz. They don't bend to fame. They respond to codes, violations, permits, and enforcement deadlines. Period. Doss Williams, the man at the center of this storm, is no stranger to celebrity pushback. He's a veteran local official with a reputation for treating billionaires and backyard gardeners the same under the law. And when he says no more warnings, he means it. This isn't a bluff. This is policy, and Meghan and Harry are about to learn that Montecito doesn't do special treatment. The broader implications are even more concerning. Legal experts have noted that if the couple is found guilty of extensive or repeated violations, especially if there's evidence they intentionally bypassed permits for commercial activity, then the county could escalate enforcement. This could include issuing cease and desist orders, slapping on thousands in fines, revoking parts of the property's usage rights, or, in theory, initiating legal injunctions that limit how they use or modify the estate. And yes, if they continue to ignore these rulings, the county has the legal authority to pursue eviction proceedings. While eviction might sound extreme, and is certainly rare in cases involving high-profile residents, it sends a crystal-clear message: nobody, not even royals turned media moguls, are above local law. Worse still, this investigation may not be limited to just one property. If any business entities, side projects, or connected properties used for filming or content creation are found to fall under similar violations, they too could come under review. Suddenly, this isn't just a zoning issue, it's a domino effect. And as the public watches this unfold, the tide of sentiment continues to shift. Remember, this couple once held the world's fascination. They were modern royalty, courageous, escapees from a cold institution, and symbols of love triumphing over tradition. But that fairy tale has worn thin. Now, their critics are growing louder, and even former fans are starting to ask tough questions. Was privacy ever the point? Or was it just a smokescreen for a media empire they never intended to run quietly? Their neighbors seem to think they know the answer. One Montecito resident told reporters, "You can't lecture the world about privacy and climate, then run a commercial operation from your backyard while draining water during a drought. It's insulting," and that sentiment is catching fire. Online hashtags like hashtag #Montecito mess, hashtag zoning royals, and hashtag Sussex scandal are trending. Royal commentators in the UK are reveling in the irony. Those who left the firm to escape accountability are now being held accountable by their local planning department. In that context, it's no longer about zoning codes and permits, it's about integrity. This is the moment where the narrative flips, where Meghan and Harry, once the underdogs of the royal family, face a reckoning not orchestrated by the crown or the press, but by the very community they swore to cherish. The velvet rope has been pulled back. and the contradictions are on full display. And there's one final twist in this saga that could change everything. The real bombshell here isn't the fines or zoning citations, it's what this scandal reveals about Harry and Meghan's brand, their ambitions, and the crumbling fantasy they've spent years trying to sell. From Montecito glamour to municipal red tape, their story has shifted from a tale of royal independence to one of celebrity overreach and bureaucratic backlash. The county's crackdown has pierced the protective bubble the Sussexes tried to build around themselves. No more layers of PR, no palace walls, no crisis manager running interference, just local rules, feed up neighbors, and a county official who's tired of being ignored. It's the kind of scandal you can't spin, and the kind of accountability you can't avoid. This moment, more than any palace fallout or Netflix misstep, may be the true turning point. Because once the curtain is pulled back on your carefully manufactured image, it's nearly impossible to put it back up. And that's exactly what's happening now. The Sussexes wanted to redefine royalty, to break from the institution and forge a new path built on authenticity, compassion, and transparency. But the reality playing out in Montecito tells a different story. One where neighbors whisper about secret parties, government officials issue threats, and the line between private life and public enterprise becomes dangerously blurred. Their dream home, the lush, sunlit Montecito estate that symbolized their freedom and reinvention, now stands at the center of a very real nightmare. If the county's investigation finds that the violations were intentional or worse, ongoing despite prior warnings, it could trigger a chain of events that impacts their business ventures, legal standing, and public trust for years to come. It's not just a local matter anymore. International outlets are picking it up. Royal reporters in London are fanning the flames. Media watchdogs are asking whether American Riviera Orchard was legally operating at all. And the public, already skeptical after the Netflix series Spotify fallout and ghost-written books, is starting to see a pattern they don't like. The core of the issue is this: you can't build a brand on ethics, privacy, and sustainability, violate all three behind closed gates. It's not just about drone flights and camera crews. It's about how long you can sell a lie before it collapses under its own contradictions. And that collapse, it seems, is already underway. Doss Williams isn't backing down. The county has begun compiling evidence, and insiders report that enforcement teams are now actively assessing similar high-value properties in the area just in case. The Sussex mansion isn't the only one playing fast and loose with the rules. Meghan and Harry may be just the beginning. The neighbors want peace. The county wants compliance. The public wants truth. And Harry and Meghan, well, they just want the noise to stop. But in a world where cameras are always rolling and social media never sleeps, that silence will only grow louder, because once the narrative shifts from fairy tale to fraud, the road back is nearly impossible. So, what comes next? Will they issue a statement? Will American Riviera Orchard shut down operations? Will fines be paid quietly, or will the couple fight it publicly? Will other properties fall under investigation? And most importantly, will the community of Montecito, their sanctuary, continue to tolerate the disruption or begin to push back harder? We don't have all the answers yet, but what we do know is this: the world is watching closely. This isn't just another celebrity headline. It's a cautionary tale about accountability, ego, and what happens when carefully curated images collide with very real consequences. For a couple who left the firm to control their own story, they may now find that the script has been taken out of their hands. If you've made it this far, you're clearly as fascinated by this unfolding scandal as the rest of us. So don't miss what happens next, because this isn't over. Not by a long shot. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and join our community of viewers, diving deeper into the truth behind the headlines. Because in Montecito, the story is just beginning, and the fallout could be bigger than anyone expected.